Hey, Mark here. I just wanted to give you a quick heads up. This is one of the most fun episodes I've ever recorded. We brought in Adam Hodgins, Megan Hoffmeyer, and it is extremely fun. I mean, we talk about Hobbs and Shaw for an hour and 40 minutes. We come up with some really random stuff. We have a lot of fun. However, there are some technical issues going on with this episode. It doesn't sound perfect. However, the content is A+. So enjoy the episode. We're sorry for the technical difficulties, but I think if you're a fan of Hobbs and Shaw or the Movies, Films, and Flicks podcast, this is probably the most movies, films, and flicks podcast episode you're ever going to hear, except for the technical difficulties. We normally sound great. But thank you so much. Enjoy the episode, and we're sorry. To Movies, Films, and Flicks. I am Mark Hoffmeyer, and joining me are the crime-fighting duo known as Mo and Hodge. It's Megan Hoffmeyer and Adam Hodgins.
I love it.
I've never been happier to be compared to glue in my life.
Hodgepodge is very useful.
I mean, Hodge and Hobbs, right? Makes sense. It works.
I'm all about the hodgepodge.
So, are we the sort of crime-fighting duo? Are we like the boys' crew? Are we super famous, or are we on the more low-key side of things? Can I demand a logo and some swag?
Yeah, I mean, you guys, you have, like, you're known as Mo and Hodge. Like, you have your bits.
Okay.
Like, you know,
I'm on board.
So,
yeah.
Now, if you two are kind of the equivalent of Hobbs and Shaw, which character am I from this movie?
Ryan Reynolds. 100% Ryan Reynolds.
Yes! Woo! Lock.
All you want in your life is to be me, Mark.
Down to the facial hair and glasses right now, too.
But see, listen, at the end, right, in the stinger of this, he murders about 75 mercenaries, and he's still alive. So he's clearly very capable, and he loves busting the chops of there's a scene though where at the end of the diner, when Ryan Reynolds, who flew in for one day to do all of this, which is amazing, he flew in while working on Underground 6 Underground.
Yeah.
So he flew in for one day. But at the end, Hobbs is like, "Thank you, brother." And then when they're on the phone, once again, Hobbs goes, "Thank you, brother." So Hobbs likes Locke. He just thinks Locke, like, Hobbs would trust Locke to get his back. He just hates being around him.
I can understand that in some people.
Yeah.
I mean, Locke is a bit obsessed with Hobbs.
Yeah. I mean,
I'm sure that could get old.
I mean, listen, I have a mohawk now like Adam. I play the guitar like Adam.
You and the cat have a mohawk, right?
I listen to these podcasts. The cats have. I listen to these podcasts over and over, the episodes that Adam and I do, and I've learned how to use a cadence similar to Adam.
That's good.
I mean, it's crushing it. Whenever I see whatever photos you put up on social media, I copy the same photos. It's pretty great.
Imagine that. Like, imagine that was a real thing where you would just take my photos and repost them as yours.
Yeah. Put my face on it.
So you're single white mailing him?
Yep.
Oh, that is the next Netflix movie, Single White Male.
Ours would be Mountain Burger, not Catfish.
Oh.
Right.
I'd Mountain Burgered you.
Mountain Burgered me. And it'd be like, "You're not on my softball team, Mark. You got to stop this."
I like this idea that you've developed the same cadence as him. I saw an article on Atlas Obscura yesterday that was saying in times where people are in isolation, new accents are developed. Because they just talk amongst their own little groups of people and new accents develop. So I thought that was very interesting.
I was out the other day and, I was safe. I was keeping distance. I had a mask and all of that. And I was talking and someone went, "Oh, are you from Canada? Are you from like just outside of Toronto?" And I was like, "Yeah, like that's, you got me."
Outside of Toronto is my favorite.
That all the time.
Like, are you like kind of, do you have that dialect where it's not exactly Toronto, but it's in the surrounding areas? And when I say surrounding areas, I loosely say surrounding areas because it could be 1 hour to 4 hours. Who knows?
It's called the Greater Toronto Area.
Yeah, so you're part of the great. And I went, thank you. And that's exactly what it is. And so
you got that GTA accent down.
Yeah, I knew it. Like I feel when I went to Toronto and I hung out with you and John and Louie and we all hung out, I felt like I was an honorary Torontonian. And now it's official.
That's what we try to make you feel every time.
Oh yeah, you guys are great.
Very
I want to go back. I
welcoming.
miss hanging. Like, that was my favorite con experience, hanging out with you guys, chilling.
That's a great city. We need to go back.
So,
Yes, you do.
now, I have a quick question for you. And Megan, sorry about this, but we have an icebreaker episode, Megan, where it's Sean Astin battles Bruce Campbell on a mountain.
Okay. Oh,
Who-
icebreaker. So I thought you were talking about
Oh, an icebreaker.
the
We have
type
an
of
episode
games
to
you
break
play.
the ice between us.
And then I put together that it was a movie.
So, who wins? Brixton, aka Black Superman, Idris Elba, or Sean Astin's character from Icebreaker?
Oh, my heart says Sean Astin's character, but Black Superman is Black Superman.
How long would that fight last?
Oh, it almost would be a conversation. It's like Ryan Reynolds is like, oh, also, he killed this guy. Like, wouldn't even have any screen time.
Yeah, he ripped the guy's throat out.
Yeah, he'd go full Roadhouse on him.
But remember, Black Superman is also Turn Up Charlie. So
Yeah, which we love. We love Turn Up Charlie with Idris.
not sure if that makes him more or less defeatable.
There's a guy in Turn Up Charlie, and we see him in a lot of stuff, and then we just go, Turn Up Charlie. All right. Now, since this is like a David Leitch movie who originally directed the John Wick movies, he was a massive stunt career. He worked on. He was a Brad Pitt stunt double in Fight Club. He's the guy who jumped over the fence to get the soap.
Right.
The soup. What would that mean? So he got the soup. Then he.
What movie do you think Fight Club
I know.
is, Mark?
Yeah, well,
I was trying to think of a movie where a person is in a vat of soup, because that doesn't sound terrible.
I mean, I would fight over a vat of soup. So that's Fight Club 2. Lobster
Fight Club
brisk.
2.
Chicken noodle brawl.
Chicken Noodle Brawl. That's good.
All right, so since he directed this, he was a stunt guy on Matrix. I mean, good friends with Keanu Reeves, and then after John Wick, he went to Atomic Blonde, and then he went to Deadpool 2. And since this movie, Hobbs and Shaw, stars Dwayne Johnson, Jason Statham, Idris Elba, Ryan Reynolds, who was in Deadpool 2, makes an appearance. Even Agent Loeb, who was in Deadpool 2 as, oh man, I'm drawing a blank right here on who the human guy in Deadpool 2 that gets Fuzzy Bear.
Yeah. Bill, whatever his name is.
Yeah, so he's in there, like he's back in this movie. Since he brings in a lot of people, I wanted to bust a surprise draft on you and Megan.
Oh, no.
And when you listen to this, go to Movies, Films, and Flicks Facebook. And the day after this episode comes out, I will put this poll up and you can vote on it. So, here's the matchup. Here's the draft. Jason Statham's in this movie. Dwayne Johnson's in this movie. But we're going to do an Eddie Marsan draft. Eddie Marsan was in Atomic Blonde and died. Eddie Marsan was in Deadpool 2 and died. Eddie Marsan was in Hobbs and Shaw and dies. David Leitch loves bringing Eddie Marsan in because Eddie is just like a really professional actor, and he's just good at whatever he does. So he's really quick. He doesn't have to worry about him. So since I just busted this on you guys, I'm going to give Megan the first pick.
Is it TV and movies?
No,
or
only
just...
movies.
Dang it, Mark.
Dang it, Mark.
The Gentleman, because we just watched that, and he's so fun in that because he's so out of his normal character.
Oh yeah.
He's
I love
boisterous.
The Gentleman.
Hilarious.
Yeah, and he has a gross scene, but I'm not going to tell anybody. So Adam, what do you got?
He's got a gross scene.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Gangs of New York.
Whoa.
Just go hard, I'm not pulling any punches here.
You're Bill the Butcher in here.
Yeah.
All right, Megster.
I'm gonna go Hobbs and Shaw.
Yeah. Oh.
Oh.
So Mark did this to me on a podcast, and now I have to do it because I felt so scandalized by him doing that.
It is a bit like, yeah, it's a very rough, mean playground rules, right? Or it's like, yeah, it's pretty brutal. All right, are you ready for this? I'm gonna go Beowulf and Grendel.
What? That's old school right there. All right. So Meg, your third pick.
Ooh, I'm gonna say The World's End because the poster is right behind it.
Yeah, it's right behind us. That's a dirty pick.
I'm gonna pick this one just because it was the movie. I gotta qualify this. This is the movie I was most surprised by, with the old rule of expectations, low expectations, and a mediocre movie is a great experience. Yeah. Jack the Giant Slayer.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's fun.
Love that.
Ewan McGregor's hair.
Yeah, I didn't think that movie was going to be anything, and I came out super entertained.
Great hair in that movie.
Yes.
All right, Meg, sir, fourth pick.
I'm gonna say V for Vendetta.
Whoa.
I love that movie. I used to watch that in college. It was one of those things that came on, I don't know if it was HBO or just late night TV, because in college, for some reason, as a perk of your apartment, they give you all the channels. But it would always
What
come on.
college did you go to?
We went to FSU. That's where Mark and I met.
Florida State.
Wow.
But,
I'm not going to type my college.
This was my apartment complex.
Okay.
A lot of them threw it in to sweeten the deal with your. It was part of the cable was typically included in the rent, and they would always have HBO because, got to be competitive. So V for Vendetta was one of those movies that would come on, I don't know, midnight, 1 a.m., and then you just couldn't stop watching it. And then all of a sudden, because of commercial breaks, you're up till 4 a.m.
What, finishing the movie?
Good memories.
Gotta finish it.
Your fourth pick,
so,
Adam.
I'm just going to say, the Bible college that I went to, when I stayed on campus, they had a no TVs in dorm rule.
Ooh.
Oofda.
So I smuggled in a Commodore 64 monitor and put a DVD player into it, and so they couldn't, I got them on a technicality.
I got you.
That's a real OG
Which was,
move.
that's exactly what I am. I'm gonna go Miami Vice.
Oh, that's an underrated action film.
Everybody hates it, and you watch it, I'm like, I kind of dig this movie.
Should we talk about it sometime on the pod?
Yeah, I also have another proposal that we'll get into in a little bit.
I like it. All right, Meg, your last pick.
Okay, last. I feel like there's a movie I should pick, but I'm just gonna pick War Horse instead because I love War Horse.
He's in so many good movies. All right, final pick.
It's tough to have a bad horse movie.
It's true. I mean, it is downright heartbreaking towards the end.
Was that your high school yearbook quote, Adam?
It's hard to. It's actually yes. Just there's no story. Just yes. It's hard to have a bad horse movie.
I flummoxed you for the first time ever.
As they say, wild hearts cannot be broken, Mark.
They can't.
So
Hidalgo.
When Hidalgo, man, that movie, right in the field.
Yeah, I know, it's good. Yeah, no, it's a good one.
As you know, I work with teenagers, and oftentimes boy teenagers will say to me, I'm inviting a girl over to watch a movie at my house. What should I watch? And I always lend them The Man from Snowy River.
Really?
Yeah. It's an Australian horse movie. You know what I mean? It's good, and it's it's a love story, but it's not super cheesy. It always works out well. But also, my final pick is Tyrannosaur.
Ooh, Tyrannosaur. That's a good one.
It's a good one of those movies,
yeah.
right?
It's a rough one. It's not a pleasant watch.
No, it's a rough one.
What is Tyrannosaur?
Paddy Considine directed it, and it's just a really rough English film. No, is it English film?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a gut punch.
What's it about, though?
What's it about, Adam?
I'll just read you the plot.
Okay.
Ready for this?
Yeah.
Megan's going to be out after the first sentence. One night, an unemployed widower drunkenly kicks his dog Bluey to death.
Oh, yeah. Actually, you're right. I'm out.
Yeah, it's a gnarly picture, but well directed.
Yeah, no, it's really good, but it's rough.
Can I be that jerk that just goes, This is what I would have picked?
Well,
no.
Imagine we said no.
Yeah, no, we did a great job.
I just want to say that I love The New World, and I love that's one of my favorite movies of recent memory. So The New World is just something I want to say. It's a Terrence Malick flick. It's beautiful.
Okay.
So I just want to plug that. Is that good? I'm not being a jerk?
No, you're not. Not any more than usual.
Yeah, you're right. It's a good point.
I would like to call out Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell.
Yeah, that's a great show.
So good.
Loved it. And all right, I was gonna say another one, but all right. So Megan, you have Gentleman, Hobbs and Shaw, World's End, V for Vendetta, and Warhorse. And Adam has Tyrannosaur, Gangs of New York, Beowulf and Grendel, Jack the Giant Slayer, and Miami Vice.
Looking at my list again, I went with movies that people generally don't like.
Well, head to Movies, Films, and Flicks, and let's see if that happens.
Right.
All right, so we'll see if
Mark,
we'll see what people say.
I love your weird movie data.
Yeah.
It's one of the many things that has endeared me to you. Your post the other day about movies that have the word perfect in them and their Rotten Tomatoes score made me, I was dying laughing. And my wife was like, "What are you laughing at?" And I showed her the post and she's like, "Yeah, okay, it's not that funny." I'm like, "But it is that funny. It's so funny."
I'm glad you think so.
That makes me really happy.
I came downstairs and Mark was making our protein shakes for breakfast and he just stopped laughing at something. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" And it was that. That is what he was doing.
So movies with perfect in their title have a 45% tomato meter score, and movies with 0 in their title have a 65% tomato meter score. Right.
It just tickled me. I don't know what it was about it. But I was like, this is the internet finally being used to its fullest capacity.
See, that's why you guys get along so well, because these random non sequitur things entertain you so highly.
And you know what? I made sure to add